Okay, WWE Super Showdown. Did not watch this live. I catched it on tape delay, but I still stayed up. I finished editing the 100th episode of the Random Trade Review, so that'll be ready to go up on Sunday. And I was working while the show was live, so I'm a little tired, and the caffeine is starting to wear off. So I hope you don't mind if some of these are a little more concise than I usually am. I will say this, there was no kickoff show at all, and the Raw announce team of Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Renee Young called this through the whole show. They didn't do the alternate announce teams like they usually do. The first match was a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, The New Day versus The Bar. The Bar got a pretty positive reception from the crowd. I mean, The New Day did as well, but it seems like most of the crowd was kind of firmly behind Sheamus and Cesaro. Kofi and Xavier represented the New Day in this match. Xavier hit an elbow drop from Brett's throat onto Cesaro. Cesaro worked most of the match in this case. The bar did get in and tossed both Kofi and Xavier into the same ring post. Cesaro came back and hit. He kind of put Kofi in a modified. It looked like kind of a guillotine, maybe. It looked like the normal guillotine pose, but instead of being forward, it was actually on the side. He was pulling him kind of like this direction instead. It was kind of a cool move. The Bar hit a double backbreaker. Xavier got the hot tag, and he hit Sheamus with a running flatliner. Cesaro put Xavier in the swing and then in the sharpshooter, but Kofi interfered long enough for the New Day to hit Sheamus with a backstabber double stomp combo for the 3 count and the victory. Really good match to open things off. A lot of high impact energy. Crowd was definitely feeling it, and towards the end, well, not towards the end, not really a shock that the Bar didn't win. But I'd like to see more matches in the future. I hope this builds to a pretty good feud here. Okay, next up is the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. They did something weird here where they introduced both competitors and then they ran the introductory vignette. Usually they do the vignette first. Since this is often being referred to as a glorified house show, I wonder if that was why they did it, because this was meant to be a house show initially, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, Becky is still being cheered even though she's a heel. They now claim she started the whole boo the woo movement. Becky slammed Charlotte into the ring post a couple of times. Becky did a tilt-a-whirl head scissors into a Fujiwara armbar. Charlotte came back, hit a belly-to-back suplex. Becky went for the Bexploder, but Charlotte fought out that in a T-bone suplex of her own. Charlotte hit a big boot and got a 2 count. Women hit dueling forearms for a while. Charlotte hit a spear and only got a 2 count. Becky countered a Charlotte moonsault. Becky then went for a guillotine leg drop, but Charlotte rolled out of the way of that. Becky tried to get a count out after that happened, but Charlotte speared her into the barricade, rolled her in the ring, speared her a second time, and tried to put her in the figure 8. But Becky grabbed the championship belt and hit Charlotte with it for the DQ. Again, not too surprising. They just put the belt on Becky. I don't think they take it off right away. Although there is going to be a rematch this Tuesday, but I'm guessing they probably built something for the Women's Evolution pay-per-view that's coming up. After that, we had the Bobby Lashley John Cena tag match. I mean, Bobby Lashley and John Cena versus Elias and Kevin Owens. A funny moment right at the beginning. Owens and Elias were in the ring, and Elias actually managed to pull off on an acoustic guitar the intro to AC/DC's Thunderstruck. Everyone was pretty thoroughly impressed. Lashley and Owens opened up, and Owens immediately tagged in Elias. Elias worked most of this match, as did Lashley. Lashley botched the leapfrog. He jumped a little too early. I think it was Owens was actually ducked. Didn't duck at the right time and sort of ran into him. Elias tackled John Cena off of the ring apron, preventing a tag on a couple of occasions. Elias dodged a Lashley spear attempt through the ropes, and That sent Lashley through. Eventually, Cena got the tag in, hit his the 5 moves of Doom, and then followed it up with his 6th move of Doom, which was just a running punch. It had a fancy name, and I am winging this pronunciation. It was the Chan Tang Wan Cho. Like I said, it just looked like a running punch. It wasn't that impressive. Basic squash match. The only thing of note really is that afterwards Cena got on the microphone, he thanked the crowd, he said WWE was going to forever be his home, but he doesn't exactly know what the future holds. I think they're trying to start leaning towards the Cena's probably going to call it a career here pretty soon. He's getting his movie career has been ignited in the last few years, and so he does not need to be working wrestling matches as much anymore. His body style has changed a lot. He's not as muscular as he was. He's been working out of the Jackie Chan stunt studio, so you could tell again like he's trying to work into a different style than he used to do. He doesn't have his crew cut anymore, so I think he's acknowledging that yes, he is starting to get old. Okay, the next match is the Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce against Asuka and Naomi. The Iconics got a pretty positive reception. They did play pretty much to the Australian crowd. They were not as heelish as they normally were. Peyton and Naomi started out. Peyton tossed Naomi into the ring post. Naomi countered a clothesline attempt by doing her leg split. She got to tag in Asuka after that. At this point, Renee Young said the Iconics ring gear was meant to inspire it was a tribute to the American flag, I'm sorry. Yeah, and she said American flag when she meant to say Australian. Asuka countered a kick into a forearm suplex. A German suplex, I'm sorry. Naomi hit a springboard spring kick and followed with a split-legged moonsault for a 2. But then there's some shenanigans that happened on the outside of the ring. The Iconics hit a double team move. I don't know what it's called. Peyton was a running knee while Billy had Naomi in the kind of the gory special, and that was for the 3 count and the victory after that. Good to see Billy and Peyton win in their home country. It's also nice to see that they actually got on a televised match. I mean, they have not been on pay-per-view since they moved up to the main roster, and that seems like it's been a bit of a waste. Hopefully they can use them more in the future. Okay, after that we have the WWE Championship match, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. A pretty significant Joe chant in the crowd. Joe was waiting for Styles as he came down the walkway. They found the walkway for a while. Joe landed a series of straight punches. Joe tossed Styles over the announce table. Styles actually landed on his feet as he rolled off of it, so he got back up and managed to kind of jump back into the ring. Joe hit his suicide dive, sending Styles into the barricade. Joe hit his corner splash enziguri combo. Styles came back and hit a couple running forearms. Joe hit a whip power slam for a 2 count. Joe hit a running brainbuster for a 2 count. Joe then grabbed a chair since this was a no DQ match. Yeah, I forgot to write that down. Styles dropkicked the chair back into Joe's face. Joe hit a Uranagi onto it was supposed to be onto the chair, but he actually missed it. I think Styles' elbow kind of glanced off of the chair. Joe hit a sleeper suplex for a 2. Styles went for the calf pressure. Joe countered into the rear naked choke. Styles began to fight out of it, and Joe countered that into a sleeper suplex for a 2 count. Styles eventually locked on the calf pressure. What happened was Joe had set up a table at one point, and Styles picked Joe up for an electric chair drop, except he didn't drop forward, he actually dropped sideways, so Joe landed on his knee through the table. Joe was selling a knee injury, and that enabled Styles to lock on the calf pressure and get Joe to tap. I would say it looks like this is over, but given something else that's happened and got announced, I have my doubts, like maybe this is going to go longer. After that, going into this, it kind of said that there really weren't going to be any championship changes, at least not right off the bat. I know they were reconsidering it at one point, but anyway. After that, we have the Riott Squad versus the Bellas and Ronda Rousey. Sarah Logan actually carried Liv Morgan down to the ring. Funny little reference to what's happened in the last couple weeks with Liv. Nikki and at that point, Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey argued a little bit on who got to start. That allowed Ruby Riott to get a sneak attack on it. Riott hit Brie with a flatliner. Morgan hit a big kick on Brie. Liv Morgan tagged in and hit a big kick on Brie. So again, we had that going off. At another point, Liv stuck her tongue out at Brie, and Brie reached out and grabbed it and was actually pulling Liv Morgan around the ring by her tongue. Logan hit, the Bellas hit Liv Morgan with a double slingshot suplex. Sarah Logan tagged in and hit Nikki with a side headlock leg sweep. Despite the Riott Squad's best efforts, Ronda Rousey eventually got tagged in. Ronda hit her spinning Samoan drop and then put arm bars on both Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan and got both of them to tap out. This was actually a pretty entertaining match. Good work from the heels side on both ends. I mean, from the two, all three of the heels really did a good job, is what I'm trying to say. Sorry. I actually kind of thought they might. There were a couple of times I thought, oh, they might pull this off and maybe upset them. I mean, they've already kind of telegraphed that it's going to be Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella at Evolution, even though they're saying it's a quote mystery opponent. But I think they announced that already, at least weeks ago. Okay, after that, it's the Cruiserweight Championship match. Cedric Alexander versus Melbourne's own Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy opened things off right off the bat with his jumping knee and then a suicide plancha. Murphy hit a Meteora then for a 2 count. Alexander countered back with a splash and a super kick. Alexander hit a Michinoku driver from the second rope for a 2 count. Alexander hit a handspring spin kick and then followed that up with a lumbar check, but Murphy kicked out. Alexander went for another move, but Murphy countered that with a jumping knee, and then he hit his pump handle driver finisher for the 3 count and the victory. Your new Cruiserweight champion, Buddy Murphy, breaking the long streak and again sending the Australian fans home happy with another hometown victory. After that, I gotta wonder if Buddy's going to be holding on to that championship very long, though. It seems like this might have been done just to pop the crowd a little bit. Like I said, there were talks that they weren't really going to change any of the belts over, and then there was saying, well, there might be at least one title change. I'm guessing it's probably the Cruiserweight Championship, so that way you can say, oh, a title changed hands, but it's like not one of the major titles. Okay, our next match is the 6-man tag match of The Shield versus Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman. I kind of missed the opening bit of this match. I had to go to the bathroom. But when I came back in, Strowman had splashed Rollins in the corner a couple of times. I mean, Rollins worked pretty much the bulk of the match. McIntyre stomped Rollins' hands while Rollins was trying to reach for a tag. Rollins came back in a sling blade on McIntyre. Strowman got into the ring and began beating up Rollins. He then tried a top rope move, but Rollins dodged it, and that enabled Rollins to tag in Dean Ambrose. Ambrose was doing some things. He tagged in Reigns. Reigns hit a drive-by dropkick on McIntyre. Reigns then hit a Superman punch, went for a Superman punch on McIntyre, but he dodged and Reigns wound up striking Ambrose, knocking him from the apron. At this point, Braun Strowman came in and began raising heck again. Then they got outside the ring a little bit, and the 3 heels cornered Rollins and Reigns. Then Ambrose got up on the other exit point for the ring, and Ambrose teased the heel turn, but then he immediately got into the ring and attacked Strowman. They went for the triple powerbomb on McIntyre, but Strowman broke that up. That enabled Dolph to hit the zigzag on Ambrose, but he only got a 2 count. Reigns then speared Strowman through the ring barricade. The distraction caused Ambrose to get the dirty deeds on Ziggler for the 3 count and the victory. this was an all-right match. Again, I guess I missed some of the. I guess there was some decent action at the beginning. I kind of missed it, so I can't say conclusively that this was a great match, but I will at least put it in the category of being pretty good. After that, we have The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. The winner getting a WWE Championship opportunity. Miz came out, he started to address the crowd, but then Daniel Bryan's music hit to interrupt. Miz hit Bryan with a flying knee. Basically, he stole the move. There was a little bit more offense. I didn't see too much of it. Again, I was trying to take some notes, and like I said, the caffeine started to wear off, so I'm getting a little groggy. I was yawning a bit, and then suddenly Miz went for the skull-crushing finale. Bryan countered that into a small package for the 3 count and the victory. And they literally said it was blink and you missed it, and yeah, I blinked and I missed it. So yeah, but here's the thing. Yes, it is a championship match, but it's not Survivor Series or TLC. It's at Crown Jewel. So one, I don't think there's going to be a title change. I don't think the Samoa Joe program has officially ended yet. My guess is they're probably building towards a Fatal 4-Way, probably a TLC match at TLC. I don't know exactly, like, maybe there is where Miz or Bryan wins the championship. I don't know about Joe yet. And that brings us to our main event. Triple H with Shawn Michaels in his corner versus The Undertaker with Kane in his corner. For the last time ever, except in 4 weeks where they face off at Crown Jewel. It's a no DQ match. And right off the bat, Triple H taunted The Undertaker while dodging some punches. Triple H blocked an old school attempt, went for one of his own. Undertaker blocked that. Taker hit the snake eyes. Triple H hit a high knee. It's at this point that Shawn Michaels kind of inserted himself into the match. And then Kane inserted himself in the match. And then Taker they began fighting a little bit. Weapon got involved. They set up a table. Taker flipped Triple H over the ring post, and where Triple H then fell into the ring barricade. The two fought into the crowd, where Taker choked Triple H with an equipment cord. Again, Shawn Michaels interfered in the match. He went after Taker with a chair, but he lost it to Taker. Taker went for his patented dive, but Triple H hit him in the stomach with a chair. It's at this point DX threw Kane through the table. Triple H decked Taker had a tombstone for a 2 count. Taker got up and decked the referee. That allowed Triple H to hit the pedigree. Only got a 2 count. HBK, again, this is where this match was not good. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now. Eventually more shenanigans happened. Triple H broke up a tombstone, or HBK broke up a tombstone attempt, allowing Triple H to hit the pedigree for the 3 count and the victory. After that, there was a show of respect. Basically, Triple H said something like, we'll just call this a draw, like something to that effect. Taker and Kane all raised hands. They played to the crowd, and then the Brothers of Destruction attacked DX, and that's how the show ended. Again, not a shock, because they already announced that at Crown Jewel that we're getting that tag match, just like they've already announced that Nikki Bella is facing Ronda Rousey. It's not a mystery opponent. Other than that, though, yeah, like I said, this match was not very good. There was just a lot of nothing that happened. It's two guys. It's Taker, who can't really move anymore, Shawn Michaels, who really can't move anymore, and Kane and Triple H, who could kind of move a little. And that was it. Yeah, so, yeah, I did not like this match. As for the show overall, well, I would say it's pretty good. It was definitely a step up from Greatest Royal Rumble, the last international show that got televised on a Friday, or a Saturday in this case. But, that being said, was not entirely great. I mean, I thought the women's six-woman tag match was actually the high point of the show. So, yeah, that kind of says things. So, yeah, I'm going to wind up giving this a C. Okay, so like I said, the next video up is going to be episode 100 of the Random Trade Review on Sandman. I've got that all edited and rendered and ready to go, so that'll be up. After that, it's going to be the review of First Man. See you all then. Hey guys, tired of me always talking about WWE and NXT? Want to see me cover something like, say, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, anything else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time Cat Productions and see how you can help me expand my wrestling coverage.